Welcome to YanaTV. Do you know who is the teacher of Tony Robbins, Blair Singer, Harv Eker, Robert Kiyosaki, and Ben Cohen from Ben & Jerry? Well, this is our guest for today, Marshall Thurber. Marshall is the original mentor to the most brilliant entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and influencers on the planet. And he's also the creator of Money into You program, a business program that streams around the world, changing lives and businesses of hundreds of thousands of people. So clearly there's a reason why Marshall is called the godfather of personal development. And we're so lucky to have him here today. And guys, he's 75 and he's still working tirelessly, making this world a better place and building businesses. Marshall, we are thrilled to have you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And I know that this one is, in fact, the very first interview you are giving for the online talk show.
Okay.
So we are actually, thank you for the trust.
All right.
And to dive kind of straight into the deep, what are you most passionate about right now?
Well, the world's trying to converge, and it is converging. So the question now is it going to converge cooperatively, or is it going to attempt to converge competitively? And so we've got really two different perspectives on what's going on. So everything's moving very, very fast. The question is, can it converge and succeed? And my feeling is it's going to, only if we go cooperatively.
So how can we do this? So in our lives and businesses, we are actually kind of ahead of the time or together with the time, converging in the future. How can we do this?
Well, I don't think you have any choice, because integrity has to be there. If you go out with integrity, sooner, it's not very far before you'll find out that it's on the internet and the bloggers and everyone else. So you really don't have any choice now. You've got to play it 100% with full integrity. And I got to make sure that in any transaction that we both end up succeeding, not at your expense and not at mine, that we actually take what Buckminster Fuller called the synergy of the interaction and make it better.
That's a beautiful message. Is what you teach in your programs?
Yes, that is.
Why do you still teaching?
Well, I don't know. I remember Bucky taught until he dropped, and I think it was 84, 86, and Deming at 89, and they never stopped, so I don't know why I should stop.
What made you are the person today?
All the mistakes I made.
So tell me one that is the most prominent you remember.
Well, I lost $7.5 million in one day.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And I was ego-driven, and I wanted to control part of the market, and I had a seat on the Chicago Board of Exchange, and I was playing win-lose, and I lost. So I had to look at my behavior and look at what the learning was, and since then I don't think I've played that game win-lose again. Sooner or later, win-lose is great when you win. It's not so
great when you lose.
No,
clearly.
right, and it's just not supporting cooperation. So, and there's no synergy when I'm in competition with you. Together we are better, and together, working together, we're going to make some solution that's going to be far better than either one of us could think of on our own. I mean, that's just how it works. That's what synergy is about.
So what you say right now, you're not driven by ego anymore?
No, I didn't say that. I said it shows up. It's not perfect, but I say it less and less. Less and less.
For those who still have it, because I know especially in business, especially in the big business, it's a very big driving force right now.
Well, I think service is where you got to go.
Service. Okay, that's the answering my question. Yes, what's the next step for them to transition?
Well, they're going to have to figure it out for themselves. They're going to end up making some severe mistakes.
Losing money.
And they're going to lose money, or they're going to lose their relationships, or they're going to do something. Win-lose is really lose-lose. There is no win-lose. It's lose-lose, ultimately. So I don't see that. It's not really choice anymore. It's choiceless to go the other way. The advantage has to be for both of us, or it's not worth doing.
What do you want your legacy to be?
I don't know. I mean, that's not do the best I can, and we'll see what it is, right? I have no, maybe nothing. It's okay.
Is
I
it
just
really?
do the best I can. Huh?
Is it really?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. I did the best I could, and I would like you to. I'm sure are you doing the best you can?
I do.
Yeah. And what are you doing here? You're giving back,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So why are you giving back?
because I can't not do this. That's who I am.
It's choiceless,
Yeah,
right?
yes, exactly. It is choiceless. I like the word. It is.
Yeah, so you give back because it's choiceless and it feels good, right?
Yeah.
And that what happens when the universe and all the people here discover that that is the way to do it?
That's what I also see the tendency. It's happening more and more, and that's why we're doing the whole program and we're supporting people like that, because I can see that at least in my environment, people who are in business, they want to do that. They want to give back. They want to contribute, which I find is really beautiful that we are all moving in this direction.
Well, it just happens. I don't see taking advantage of anybody is really a losing situation. So I don't look for advantage. I'm looking for how to cooperate and support us both moving forward in the direction that we feel is going to support the planet.
What's your next biggest dream?
Well, right now I want to get a few books out. I've got a bunch of them.
Tell us about it. Tell us about the books. What kind of books you want to get out?
I'm doing one with my good friend here that we've been working on for a long time, and then I've got a couple of ones. Basically, I want to do one basically called instead of cooperation. Most of the business is about scarcity, and if you start to look at economics, traditional economics is about allocating scarce resources. But if you look at what's really going on, there's a whole new world, and it's really about abundance. Abundonomics is the opposite of economics. It's how do you work together and cooperate, create synergy, and end up with far more than either one of you would have on your own. That's abundonomics. Economics is allocation of a limited pie, and that's what it is. Economics is the allocation of scarce resources, since there really is no scarcity. What we do together. If I share it with you, do I lose? Do I?
In my world, no.
No, I think that's where it's headed. It not only headed, it has to go there.
Yeah.
It has to. And, I'm watching the political situation right now, and it's interesting to see that there are no straight lines. They've never found one, and so we're in our president thinks we're going to bring back coal. It's a structural change. It's dirty. It's not going to come back, no matter what he says. So, politics themselves are inherently win-lose. One side wins, one side loses. So it's that whole paradigm is going to have to transform. And politics don't lead anything anyway. People lead, and eventually it shows up in lag form in your political situation. Right now, we've got one side of the coin is running it, but it doesn't matter. They're both playing win-lose. Both have to be right.
Yeah. For those who are watching now, let's say people who might be not at the top of the politics, or in business, it's like people who are majority in the world right now. If you talk to them, what do you feel they can do in a simple way in their lives so they're becoming part of the solution and they're helping contribution, and sharing to emerge?
Well, DIVAL, the word I came up with, DYVAL, means dynamic value, and I think that if they should look at how can they contribute, don't worry about making money. Well, how can they contribute to make the world better and make a business out of that? But start with, what can I do that's going to make a difference, positive, and from there it all works. If you're going to do, what am I going to get my share of a limited pie, it's going to be very hard, very stressful, and difficult. So go the easy way. Look at what needs to be done that's going to make the world better, and do that.
Do you believe that human beings are spiritual beings?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Overwhelmed by the evidence.
Yes.
So, there's a thing called precession. Do you know what precession is?
Right. Yes.
So that while you're going here, what's really going on is usually 90 degrees of the flight path. So you just go this direction and watch out of the corner of your eye, and that's really what's going on. I don't know why I'm here. I'm just doing the best I can. Invited here, and I'm here.
Yeah. So it would be foolish for all of us to think that we actually have a choice.
Yeah, Buckminster Fuller said it best. I think he said, Marshall, you don't run the universe, and he says, you're not running this universe. And he says, and so why don't you just surrender to it and continue to do what you are, but be aware of the spiritual side of this. And so I have that. His thing, he says, you don't belong to you, you belong to the universe. He says, rest assured that if you devote your time and attention to the highest advantage of others, the universe will support you, always and only in the nick of time. Why is it always in the nick of time? You've gone through it, right?
Yes.
You had nothing in the nick of time,
I did several
right?
times, in fact, in my life, several times.
Yes. But always and only in the nick of time, it turned out, right?
Yes.
And the reason this nick of time is because nature is always most economical. If it came early, it wouldn't be economical. It would be waste. So it's always going to be in the nick of time. Just do the right thing that's right for you at the moment, and do the right thing tomorrow is the moment. They may not be exactly the same, but the great spirit's watching out for you. If you stay with your integrity, you got to stay with your integrity.
Is there something we don't know about Marshall?
I don't know. You know, I guess I'm really not a person who wants to be in front of the room. I guess that's probably it.
I can sense that.
I mean, I only do it because no one else is doing it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I'd read Buckminster Fuller, and I said, you know, no one's reading his books because they were too hard. And so I said, well, maybe if I make up some games, people play the games and get the lessons. So that's what this is all about, taking some of his insights and making experiential learning for people to get what he was attempting to say in long words that people couldn't read and didn't understand. And so that's sort of what my gift was to take some of his thinking, put it into experiential learning. That's where Money and You came from.
Yeah.
And so my idea now is that anything that's told to me is really a belief. Anything that I experience personally is, you know, much more true. So the closer, you know, you said you've been right down to nothing for a while, once or twice in your life, right?
Yes, three times at least.
And what? Just at that moment, what's a breakthrough happened?
It was, yes. Usually you have to literally either lose or let behind everything.
Yes.
And then you have a huge breakthrough, in my experience.
Yeah, you have to let it go.
Exactly, just let it go, everything.
Because everything else wasn't working, right?
Yes.
And then when you did that, everything started to work.
Yes,
right?
and then you almost like go, it's like a different universe. You go like one spiral up.
Yes. So it requires surrendering to that higher power, right?
It does, a lot of trust.
Yeah. There's no question. I mean, I don't know what that spirit's about, but, you know, we're on this little dirtball planet, right? And we're traveling at 67,000 miles an hour. Do you feel it? I don't feel it.
I don't feel it.
No, and at the equator, we're going at 1,000 miles an hour. So we don't know, and so we're one little tiny human being on one little planet, dirtball planet, in one little solar system, and then that solar system is part of one Milky Way, and now they found 1.25 million other Milky Ways. So for us to think that we really know what's going on is crazy. We just have to surrender, keep our integrity, and you know, you can make a lot of money by knowing the principles of, you know, finding your specific area of service, be unique, and you know, basically learn how to leverage it. If you can't leverage it, you can do a good job, but you're never going to make a lot of money. If you need to make money, if that's what you want to do, you've got to master leverage, and you have to understand the internet. You have to understand all the stuff where the leverage is. That doesn't mean you don't make a contribution as a masseur or masseuse. You do. You've got to realize that that's not a way to make money. It's a way to give back, but it's not giving back to make money. Money's not going to happen because you don't have enough leverage. So you have to look at where you are. You're doing this video with me, and it's going to go on something. I don't know what it is. And then,
you will see.
You know, no, but then, you know, who knows what's going to happen from there? You may end up with a show on Broadway somewhere. Who knows? See, it's all.
If it benefits people,
yeah.
Yes. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
In fact, I have been actually offered a few positions, ironically, so funny, on the big talk shows, but I didn't like people needed the message, so I turned it down.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So
your integrity stayed with it.
I believe in that.
And as long
yes.
as you stay with your integrity, everything's going to work out. It just does. And sometimes it's hard to do that.
Yes. You know, I actually feel it's really beautiful what you said, that about you, that you might not always want to be in front of the room, but no one else is doing. I often feel the same about the camera. That, you know, when we started YanaTV at the very beginning, no one was doing it in this part of the world.
Yes.
So that's what I felt. I don't really want to do this in front of the camera, but no one else is doing it. So,
and now you're doing it.
And now I'm doing it. Now it's great.
Yes.
You get into this. But I guess the point is also for people who are out there and maybe not naturally want to be in the spotlight, I still feel there's a lot of place for them to step up and go front. And someone has to bring forward the message.
Well, as long as they're adding value, I don't care what they're doing, really. If they want to add value and add leverage, then they can make a lot of money. But if they just want to add value, that's fine. You could stay home and just take care of your children and bring them up. I mean, that's adding value as long as you're doing it from a space of, integrity and honesty and working with them. I mean, that's fine. You're not going to make a lot of money, but if you want to make money, you're going to have to leverage it.
Yes.
And that's really what happens. It's not a lot of money making seminars. There's probably not a lot of money here, but you've got more than that. My son does movies, and his movies are all over. He does it once, but it goes into thousands of theaters at the same time. So he's got enormous leverage, and he makes an enormous amount of money too doing it.
What is success to you?
Going to bed and feeling I did the best I could that day and have up to this point, yes. And do I make mistakes all the time? And I just look at, where is the mistake? How do I correct it? What can I learn from it? Because since I'm not running the universe, this mistake was given to me to learn from. And mistakes are essential to course correct and learn. So I see mistakes. There aren't really any mistakes. Mistakes are really just opportunities to learn. And so the more mistakes I make, the more opportunities to learn, even though some of them I prefer not to have to learn. And if I don't learn it, I'm going to do it again. And I have done it again and again, and eventually I do seem to get it.
And what really, really, really makes you happy?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Oh my gosh, another learning day. My son had that from the very get-go when he was younger. I taught him, I said, look, when you go to school, you don't learn what you already got correct, you learn from what your mistakes are. And so I want you to go look at all the mistakes you're making in school and learn from those. And one day he came running down to the car, I was picking him up, he says, boy, Dad, I had a learning day today.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm just saying, so, we embrace the learning rather than trying to hide the learning.
Also as parents, guiding children.
Hiding it means it gets repeated and it doesn't feel good. So learning is what we're here to do. We were born, naked, helpless, and ignorant, and we had to learn from experience. And our own experiences are far more important than the experience of others. That's why the courses that I teach are experiential, because they get, I think, closer to the truth. They're not the truth, they're still an experience, but they're way better than a belief. If people believe stuff, faith, belief, it's not, for me, it's just a belief. Experience is much closer to the grand design of humans. It's just the little things you do,
Marshall, if I would ask you in 3 minutes to give me all the advice and mentorship you can, it's almost like from your generation to our generation, that we can remember, easy to use, and how we can pay it forward.
Well, I think you got to look inside, and everything you do, does it have integrity? If it does, then go ahead and do it. But check inside. You don't need to go outside for better seeing. You just want to go inside. In the inside of you, if it says, this is right to you, then do it. And if it turns out not to be right, you'll make a mistake and you'll learn, and then you'll correct. And it's all about staying with your integrity, staying inside, not looking outside. People have to understand that competition does not create American or world peace. It just doesn't. And we're now competing with the Russians, and as far as I know, the Russians, and you're Russian, right?
I am.
And then, I'm an American. Does he think it matters?
Not here.
No.
Not in our world.
No, I'm saying, really. As far as I know, they're all human. We all have the capacity to love.
My husband is American, yes, so.
It's all capacity to love, right?
Yes.
But it really starts by looking inside and seeing the longer you stay in there and look and stay with your integrity, it'll all work out. And if you want to make money, then you can learn the rules of how to make money, which means you got to find a place to give service, add value, be as unique as you can, and then leverage it. If you do that, you'll make all the money you need. So that's it. But it's out of service is where it starts.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So much. It was really deep and very, very powerful.
Thank you.
And that was Marshall Thurber with us today, sharing how integrity and being unique and contributing and really focusing first on how you can give without choice, almost how you can give from your heart, is really the way to go in the new emerging world where everything and everyone is interconnected. Thank you for watching us.
She's had a lot of unique experiences, being from Russia, leaving Russia when she was quite young, and having to go and trust the universe because she had to, I'm sure, leave with very little. And so it reminds me of what Bucky said. She's an evolutionary event that's making the world better, and she's supporting the universe converging, and she's a lovely soul and a beautiful person. Who knows where it's going to go, but we're pretty sure that her unique experiences are going to be manifest and support the planet in a very positive way.